Right, so hey everybody, I'm Ted, and last night over beers, Rob conscripted me to give a talk on Node.js, and so here we are. So you can blame Rob. And as just has come up, it's Canada Day, so that's awesome. It has nothing to do with Node.js, but there you go. Wow, that doesn't look good at all. There we go. So if you're not familiar with what Node.js is, it's basically an event-based server-side JavaScript environment. So for the Rubyists, who I presume are you, think it's something along the lines of event machine, but it uses V8, which is the JavaScript engine in Google Chrome, which is super fast and super awesome. And so yeah, anyway, you can go check it out. Very easy to install, and try it out. Here's Hello World. It's fairly straightforward, actually. So, and actually, it should look really familiar. Specifically, this bit should feel very familiar to you guys, because it's essentially the same thing as a piece of rack, except it's all asynchronous, right? So, the whole design of Node is that all the I/O, et cetera, is all async. So, right. So the reason why Rack has been embraced in the Ruby community, right, is that it's a great tool for composing different bits and pieces together in your web stack. Like you have a an auth middleware or something like that. You can just toss anywhere in your router and you're good to go. And JavaScript, that's kind of dark. It's a functional language, lends itself to composing things in a functional manner. So it's similar feeling to that. And when we do, we're all doing web development, right? And when you do JavaScript programming in the browser, you're doing event programming already. You're listening to quick events on some element, et cetera. So this is basically doing the same kind of programming, but on the server side. You're listening to events from the file system when you are reading from a disk or that sort of thing, or from the network. So it's fast, but it really actually feels natural in a way that I think Event Machine doesn't quite feel like Ruby. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So obviously, this is the new hotness. Everyone's getting all excited about it. But just because of that, you shouldn't think I'm going to use this for everything, and I'm never going to use Ruby again. What kind of problems does Node lend itself to? So here's some examples. It's super easy to put together a HTTP proxy to sit in between part of your app and the rest of the world, and also to mix and match different network protocols. So you could have a web server that is also an IRC bot. So it's sitting in your development IRC channel, letting you know live as things break, or work for that matter. Maybe you live websites that work more than mine do. So here's an example of something that has recently come out from Node that I think is really great. It's called Formidable. It's basically the sole purpose of Formidable is to handle file uploads, and it does that very, very well and very, very fast. And it's like 100 lines of code or something like that. It's pretty cool. Some other bits in the Node ecosystem that I'm pretty excited about. So this top one is an implementation of the HTML5 HTML parsing algorithm in JavaScript. And the bottom one is an implementation of the DOM in JavaScript. That might sound terrifically masochistic, but the idea here is that you can do DOM scripting on the server side, but use precisely the same code that you're using client side. That's kind of neat. But anyway, skipping the web stuff, there's all sorts of other kind of networking apps that you can use Node for that is well suited for. I was hungover this morning. So, for instance, like I was saying, the sort of multi-protocol mixing and matching. You know, one pet peeve of mine, I would love to see someone do this, is something that looks like a web forum to people who I don't understand who want to use web forums, but provide some kind of NNTP or mailing list, you know, simultaneous interface for people like me, or that sort of thing. And this is actually really easy. A lot of what's, you know, that hello world is actually not very far off from something useful. And you already know JavaScript, so go have fun. And that's it. Any questions? Obviously, it was super quick, and I didn't actually get into anything in detail. So if there's any specific questions that you have about Node, libraries, etc., Rob. Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, everybody and their mom is building so that you've got a bunch of different efforts to build like a web framework, all of which are sort of at a similar level of, I don't yet see the point, maturity. Then there's, for storage backends, you've got clients for like CouchDB and Redis and PostgreSQL, et cetera. I mean, you've got, people are working on all the bits that you expect to see to go into that sort of thing. But I wouldn't say that any one of them is really mature yet. I mean, actually, so the creator of Node at JSConf, a couple months ago, just straight up said that so far there really aren't any non-toy applications. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Yes. I don't know of any direct numerical comparisons, but I can look and send it to the list if I found one. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So is it like a web server? Like an Apache or something like that?
It can be. So it includes an HTTP module that you can use to serve your app. So like that hello world from earlier. I guess, yeah, see that listen 8000 at the end? Right, so it's serving itself there. I wouldn't say that that's the web server that you want to expose directly. It's probably sitting behind Nginx or Lidea or whatever is your web server of choice. All right, there you go. Oh, there are the slides. If you go, all the yellow stuff are links. There's a lot of links in there to the different projects. So.